Hey guys, it's me again. I'm gonna tell you some more stories about my weird life. This one is from my mother's past, actually. When she was 17, my age, she was a crazy ass bitch growing up. Okay, she had all of these friends, and they would go out and do all these stupid things that teenagers do, and then she grew up and wouldn't let me do them. So anyway, here's what happened. And this is one of my favorite stories that she told me growing up. One night, it was her and 3 other people, I think. And they piled up into their truck, or whatever kind of car it was. I don't remember. She didn't specify. And they decided that they were going to go and screw around the area and check out the haunted church. Yes, we have haunted churches down here in Alabama. And anyway, it wasn't haunted then, but it definitely is now, even though it's not even there anymore. So anyway, my mother and her friends went out to the church, and on the way up there, they were talking about it, and they were telling stories about the cult that practiced in the church. Now, it used to be a church of God, and it was abandoned, I guess, in the 40s or something, and it was still standing. So it was like one of those really old-fashioned church houses that you see in, like, Hallmark cards for Christmas. Anyway, so they went up there, and they stopped at the end of the road on this that led up to the church. And one of her guy friends was the first one up there, and my mom was in the middle and dragging behind were a girlfriend of hers and her boyfriend. I guess they were scared or something. Anyway, old churches like this have cemeteries attached to them, and they were exploring the cemeteries and looking at the dates and stuff, and I guess they were going to have a seance or some crazy shit. Because my mom's crazy like that, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest for her to tote a Ouija board in a backpack and go places to see what she could conjure up. Anyway, so, Mom kind of broke off from the group, and she wandered around to the front of the church and looked in. Nobody was in there, but the lights were on. And there was this weird kind of feeling. She kind of felt uncomfortable, like she didn't belong there, but naturally, because there was a cult that practiced in the place, she wasn't going to feel very comfortable there. And I should probably point out that this was back during the satanic panic of the 60s and the 70s, and so anyway, they were devil worshippers or something like that. And she heard chanting out in the woods behind the church. No surprise there. They were out there in the middle of autumn and all this other stuff, and the trees were bare, but how sound can carry through trees when there's no leaves in them. So she freaks out and she starts running back towards the group. And she tells them that they're there, that the cult is actually there that night. And so they're on their way back to the truck, whatever it was that they went in, and the people started coming out of the woods, and I guess they saw the headlights of the truck or something. Because, one of the guys left the lights on so that they could see, because they didn't have the smarts enough to bring a flashlight. So, like I said, the cult knew that they were there. So, half of them went back into the church, and the other half decided, okay, well, we're going to chase these stupid ass kids away from the church. So they did. my mother, at the age of 16, 17, was involved in a car chase, being chased by devil worshippers. And doesn't that sound like something out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? They had guns too. It was crazy shit. And you know, we people in Alabama, we like our guns, and this didn't surprise me at all. So anyway, at one point the car broke down, and naturally everybody in the car was flipping out, and the people that were chasing them had stopped. They actually stopped, as though thinking, okay, well, I guess we chased them off, or maybe they were just wanting to chase more. It was like a scene from a horror movie, basically. The car wouldn't start, and it was about that time that one of these people in the other car that was chasing them got out, and they were headed over to the car that my mother was in, and she starts screaming, and she's, you know, all this other stuff, and her friend is screaming, and the guys are screaming, and all of a sudden the car finally starts back up, and they gun it all the way back home. And they didn't tell their parents about this. I mean, who would want their parents to know about them going up to a haunted church while there was a black mass going on? I mean, you know, it's kind of one of those things that you don't do, because A, you'll probably get, as Mom called it, a whooping, or in my day you'd be grounded for life. But anyway, so a couple days later, my grandfather was reading the paper, and my mother noticed the headline of the paper said something along the lines of blah blah blah, Church of God burnt down, suspected arson, blah da da da. So apparently Mother and her friends found out sometime later that the cult had burnt the church down to hide any kind of craziness that they were doing, and those people were never caught. So, you know, anyway, that was one of my mom's near-death experiences, and she got into a lot of them when she was little, and you'll probably hear a lot more of those kind of stories from me in the future. My mother is a good subject of study when it comes to horror stories, because our life is fucked up. Okay then, I hope you guys like that story, and I'll probably come up with one of my own stories, or remember something from my childhood and tell it, but I don't have anything to read right now. So if anybody wants to suggest something to me to read that hasn't already been narrated yet, that would be great. And please don't send me the anti-troll pasta, because I don't like to read those. If it's not scary, don't send it. Alright, so that's all I got right now.